There's a place where time stands still, a place where memories are stored in the very walls, buried under layers of dust and forgotten stories. But when the old barn finally crumbles under the weight of its years, it's not just wood and nails that fall apart. What it uncovers, well, that's a story the world was never meant to know. For years, the old barn had stood like a sentinel, weathered by the relentless forces of nature. It was a testament to the farmer's family, its cracks and creaks speaking to the long history of hard work and sacrifice. His father had built it, and now he had inherited it, carrying forward the legacy of the land. Yet, with every passing storm, every winter, it became more fragile. Its roof had long since stopped keeping the rain out, and its walls had begun to buckle under the weight of time. The farmer, now older and more frail, had lived his life within the barn shadow. He had spent countless hours inside, mending tools, tending to animals, and sometimes just reflecting on the past. There had always been something about the barn, a sense of mystery that lingered. It wasn't just an old building. It was a place that had witnessed generations of his family, their struggles, their joys, and their secrets. But today, something was different. It started with a loud crack, a sound that echoed across the valley. The barn groaned and creaked as if it were alive, protesting against the weight of its own existence. The farmer looked up from his work, his heart sinking. He knew what was coming. It wasn't just a storm this time. The barn was finally giving in. As the wind howled, the barn's wooden beams began to splinter, and with a deafening crash, the roof collapsed. The sound was like thunder, shaking the very ground beneath the farmer's feet. He stumbled back, his breath caught in his throat as dust and debris filled the air. The farmer's heart raced as he struggled to make his way through the wreckage. His knees ached, and his breath came in short, ragged bursts. But he couldn't stop now. He had to see what had become of the old barn, the place that had been his family's pride for so long. As he navigated through the broken beams and shattered wood, something caught his eye, a glint of something shiny buried under the rubble. He paused, his curiosity piqued. Was it just another piece of scrap metal? Or was it something more? He knelt down and carefully began to dig through the debris. His hands, weathered by years of labor, trembled slightly as he removed the broken planks. And then, there it was, an old wooden chest partially buried in the ground. Its surface was scarred by time, the edges worn smooth by years of neglect. The chest had a strange, almost otherworldly qualities about it, as if it had been waiting for this moment all along. The farmer's pulse quickened as he reached for the chest, his fingers brushing the rough surface. He could feel the weight of it, something important, something ancient. With a grunt of effort, he managed to pull the chest free from the debris. He stared at it for a moment, wondering what it contained. Had it always been there, hidden beneath the barn, or had it somehow appeared after the collapse? He wasn't sure, but one thing was certain. The barn had collapsed for a reason. It wasn't just the ravages of time. Something had been uncovered, and he was about to find out what. The chest creaked as he opened it, revealing a collection of old items, papers, photographs, and a peculiar object wrapped in faded cloth. His eyes widened as he carefully lifted the cloth to reveal an antique key, its design intricate and mysterious. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before. It seemed to glow in the dim light, almost as if it held some sort of power. But that wasn't all. Among the papers, there was a journal, an old, leather-bound book, its pages yellowed with age. The handwriting inside was faded, but still legible. It seemed to tell the story of someone who had lived long before him, someone who had hidden this chest away for reasons unknown. The farmer's heart raced as he began to read the journal. He could feel the weight of history pressing down on him, as if he had just stumbled upon a secret that had been waiting for him all his life. This was no ordinary discovery. The barn's collapse had uncovered something far greater than the farmer could have ever imagined. A mystery, a legacy, and a secret that would change everything. The journal was heavy in his hands, its pages yellowed and brittle with age. The farmer hesitated for a moment before slowly flipping it open. The ink was faded, but the handwriting was still legible. It seemed to tell the story of a different time, a story of his ancestors, of a secret they had worked so hard to keep. As he read through the pages, a chilling tale unfolded. The journal spoke of a hidden treasure, one that had been buried deep beneath the land, guarded by cryptic clues and traps. It was a treasure not just of gold, but of knowledge, an artifact that could change everything the farmer knew about his family's past. The journal detailed how, generations ago, his great-grandfather had found something extraordinary, buried deep within the land. But it wasn't just the land that had hidden the treasure. It was protected by a series of warnings, symbols, and instructions passed down through the family. His great-grandfather, along with a select few trusted members, had sworn to keep the secret safe. The treasure wasn't just a material fortune. It was a key to something much greater, something that could alter the course of history. There was a map hidden deep within the earth, and only the person with the key could access it. The farmer's mind raced as he read more. The journal mentioned the key he had just found. It was no ordinary artifact, but the very key to unlock the treasure's location. The strange markings on the key matched the symbols described in the journal. The more he read, the more he realized that the key was meant for him. He was the one who was meant to discover what had been hidden for so long. But as he reached the last page, a feeling of dread washed over him. The journal's final words were a warning that the treasure wasn't meant to be found. Someone, or something, had gone to great lengths to ensure that it would remain buried forever. And now, the farmer could feel the weight of that responsibility settling on his shoulders. The journal was clear. If he continued down this path, he would be forced to confront a power far beyond his understanding. The treasure, it seemed, had been hidden not just because of its value, but because of the dangers it posed. Whoever had hidden it had done so for a reason. They believed that the world wasn't ready for what lay beneath the surface. The farmer stared at the journal, his mind racing. He knew there was no turning back now. The discovery of the treasure was no longer just a matter of family history. It had become a matter of fate. The key he held in his hand was more than just a relic. It was the key to something far greater, something that could change the world. But as he thought about the risks, the warnings, and the shadowy figures who had hidden the treasure, he couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't alone in this journey. Someone, perhaps even those who had hidden the treasure, was watching him. And the more he uncovered, the more he realized that the true test hadn't even begun yet. With the journal clutched tightly in his hands, the farmer knew one thing for sure. He had to uncover the treasure, no matter what the cost. But as he prepared to continue his search, a chilling thought crossed his mind. What if the treasure wasn't meant to be found by anyone at all? The farmer stood at the base of an ancient oak tree, the final location marked in the journal. The setting sun cast a golden glow over the land, painting the earth with warm hues. He could feel the weight of the key in his pocket, the journal still clutched tightly in his hand. Every step he had taken, every clue he had uncovered, had led him to this moment. With trembling hands he dug into the earth, his shovel scraping against something hard. The soil was rich with history, but there was something more, something ancient beneath the surface. As the hole deepened, the farmer's heart raced, the anticipation almost unbearable. Finally, the shovel struck a stone. He knelt down, clearing the dirt away carefully, until a small, intricately carved chest was revealed. His breath caught in his throat. The chest was old, its surface covered in strange markings that matched the symbols from the journal. His hands shook as he reached for the chest and slowly lifted the lid. Inside, there was a map, an ancient parchment, fragile and yellowed with age. But this wasn't just any map. It was a map to something greater, something far more significant than the treasure he had imagined. The map led to a place far beyond the land he knew, an undiscovered location that held unimaginable secrets. But it wasn't just the treasure that called to him. It was the knowledge, the power, and the responsibility that came with it. As the farmer stared at the map, a chill ran down his spine. He knew that he was about to embark on a journey unlike any other, one that would challenge everything he had ever known. The treasure was just the beginning. But as he turned to leave, he could sense someone was watching him. He had no idea who or what it was, but he knew one thing for certain. His life had just changed forever.